Ms. Jones, will you roll call, please?
Absolutely. Happy New Year, Eddystone. I have heard from Councilman Bannon and Councilwoman Rose, so unfortunately I cannot attend this evening. So Councilman Bolton.
Here.
Councilman Jones.
Here.
Councilman Perry. Vice President Hall.
Here.
President Walker.
Here.
Mayor Yanazzi.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to first wish everyone a happy new year. Hope everyone had good holidays and everyone's healthy again. I'm going to address a few things here. So just so everyone knows, the borough will not be shut down. Everyone will have trash pickup. Everyone will be paid. Nothing will be stopped. Council did not need to have a special meeting. In the interest of no one has responded to your email on December 12th, they actually did respond to your email. It was,
You just needed to act.
it was,
We have a disagreement about the budget. That's not.
Yep, that's okay. I'm just gonna let,
Understand where-
that's fine, but I'm gonna let the residents, you allow the
I understand
residents
where
to know.
the
Okay.
the budget-
So what it said, the email, so residents have an understanding since they got to hear one side of the email and not both. It said, "Good afternoon, Rob. Thank you for your email and your concerns. I will be honest, I was a little surprised to see this, as you told me last week, you had no intentions of vetoing the budget and only wanted what was best for the police department. I would have thought you would have asked questions during, before, or after the public meetings around the budget. I did ask if you had questions, concerns, or comments. We have worked very hard for 4 months on this budget, moving numbers, cutting costs, and making sure we can afford bills, salaries, and all other expenses required. Since January 2022, we have been working diligently to save money on bills, out-of-term contracts costing extra money, and pulling the reins on spending. If we did not actively work on these things, we may not have been able to come down to the number we reached. If we do not raise the taxes to 9.6, which is 2.49 mils higher than current taxes, we would need to change and implement the following. We would need to implement the trash fee, which would be about $50 a month for all residents. There would also be the sewer fees that would have to go back to $345 instead of the decrease of $125 for anyone that uses a certain amount or less of water at $6.45. So even though taxes may be going up an average of $20 a month per resident, with the people that are saving the $200 down to $125, their taxes are going up about $14. Councilman Bolton has done some research in our local area. And in Ridley School District, Eddystone local taxes at 9.6 is an average of $879 a year for your current taxes. The sewer, depending on your water usage, the minimum is $125. That's a total of $1,004 per year for your local taxes. Ridley Park's numbers, your local tax is an average of $1,055. The trash fee is $345. The sewer is $402 per resident, which is a total average tax amount of $1,802. Also in Ridley Township, your local tax is about $1,006 on average, $255 for a trash fee for every resident, $390 for a sewer fee for every resident, totaling $1,651. There are other neighborhoods outside of Ridley School District that are local with the school district that pay an average of $912 in Prospect Park. Their trash fee in 2015, because we couldn't find anything sooner, was $180, and they currently pay $82 a month for their sewer fee, totaling an average of $2,082. Norwood's local tax is $1,268. Can't find the trash fee, but I know they have one. Their sewer bill is about $151, and their minimum tax is $1,419 for local taxes. So we are still the cheapest. Now, as far as we did not do anything, we highly recommend it. We are required by law, if you veto properly, which means you hand a statement with a list of objections.
See, I don't
whether how you see it or
I'm
not,
not trying to send you an email because I want to have a conversation about it. I just.
tax ordinance or resolution, the following shall
I
apply.
sent you an email with my objection.
You did not give us any objections.
I did in an email.
There was no objections.
Yes, there was.
Okay, so if you're gonna say that, you sent that on December 12th. We voted on the tax ordinance.
We'll figure it out later.
We voted on the tax ordinance on December 12th. There's nothing in here that says, it says at the next scheduled council meeting. So you sent your email on December 12th in the morning. We voted December 12th in the afternoon and overrode your veto, if that's how you saw it. So either way, we were still legally, that's fine, but how you see it and what the law states.
I mean, I feel differently about how the law states.
Okay, well, we've had solicitor and the Boroughs Association in Harrisburg. So just so everyone knows, everyone will be paid. The borough will not shut down. You will continue all services. You know, I just really wish that you've had plenty of time to give comments and say, hey, can you take this out of the budget? Can you move this from the budget? You have not spoken to any of us about anything.
You read the law, please.
I'm gonna be transparent, I'm gonna follow the law. So all three of these things are in play right now.
Obviously, you
They're
don't.
not. So the law states tax ordinance or resolution, the following shall apply. If council presents the mayor with the annual tax ordinance or resolution under section 1310.1 relating to tax ordinance or resolution, the mayor shall, within 10 days of receiving the tax ordinance or resolution, approve or return the tax ordinance or resolution to the borough secretary. Did not do that.
I did, she was on the email.
Return the tax ordinance or resolution to the borough secretary with a statement setting forth the mayor's objectives. At any scheduled meeting held not later than 10 days after the mayor has returned the tax ordinance or resolution. If the veto is overridden, the ordinance or resolution shall have full effect and receive the approval of the. So we voted on December 12th. So our solicitors here, so Tim from municipal law and from the borough, or from the Harrisburg Boroughs Association, what is the ruling?
So, this is the thing, Mr. Mayor, any member of the community has every right to speak their mind about the budget. But the mayor in a borough doesn't have the ability to veto the budget, but you can veto the tax levy. You told me you wrote an email, December 12th, setting forth some objection. That night, a meeting occurred. The ordinance was then enacted. You had the ability within 10 days to object to the impact of that ordinance. Like every ordinance that comes across your desk, you can do that. But with a budget, and the president just read this, section 3301.2, that ordinance is clear. The mayor shall, within 10 days after receiving said ordinance, the ordinance exists after the vote happens, approve or return the tax ordinance. Now, I understand you did go up to borough hall, but I understood you just wrote deny and left. You have to do two things. It's a bifurcated requirement. Approve or return the tax ordinance or resolution to the borough secretary, which it sounds like you did that, with the statement setting forth the mayor's objection. That's the problem. I don't, you're kind of far forward. When December 22nd came and passed, the ordinance takes full effect. Because if you really think about it, if you don't set forth like one, I don't like this line. Two, it's hard for the council to even vote and interact about it, overriding the statute. But I think the statute's plain, and I did run it through the Pennsylvania State Boroughs Association. I want to be sure. I'm not choosing sides, but the consensus was, and the opinion is, two things had to happen. You had to return it with your objection, but you had to also deliver to the borough secretary. When that didn't occur, but respectfully, I'm not choosing sides. you're allowed to. When you didn't do that, the 10-day clock started ticking. When December 22nd came and passed, the 10 days was up, the ordinance took full force and effect. The budget and related tax levy is now what the borough will be governed by for this fiscal year.
I mean, I don't agree with it, but we can move on to the next thing. I do understand, where your thought process is. I appreciate the fact that nobody's going to lose their pay, and I appreciate everything that you guys do over there.
I mean, I just honestly, I just wish that you would have either said, hey, did you get my email? Can we have a conversation about this? Like, part of the duties as the mayor under Title 8 says that you're to check in with borough from time to time about things going on in the borough, but we don't communicate, and I'm not saying that it necessarily isn't one-sided, but
If you want more communication between us, we can do so. We can have a weekly meeting. if you'd like.
I said this before, when you said about, meeting with people and people are having problems.
But I mean, as
asked
far
you
as the law is
every-
concerned, this is what I thought I was following along to a T, all right? Like
Which
that's-
I understand that, but what upset me honestly the most is when I go back and look in December of 2020, and I get that this is past, right? But in December of 2020, on December 21st, council held a budget meeting. It's a preliminary accepted budget. On December 22nd, it was sent out in the paper to advertise. It was advertised on the 23rd. So the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 27th of December. Borough was closed the 24th and 25th because it was Thursday, Friday, 26th and 27th. And then on the 28th, you guys voted to accept a budget. It's in the budget meetings, it's in the advertisement. The law says that you have to advertise a budget for 10 days before you can take final action on it.
Okay, well, what does this got to do with?
Because
our-
you're saying that we are required by law to do certain things, if you want to uphold the law, which I respect, and I'm fine with that. I don't do anything outside of the law. I make sure that I read Title 8, I question it again to save the taxpayers' money. I call it to the Boroughs Association before I call Tim, because I don't want to go to Tim with every single question when I can go to Boroughs Association for free. So you're saying that you want to uphold the law, which I respect and I'm fine with. But you guys yourself in 2020,
I
in
mean, as far as
2021,
as
did
far
not
as our
follow the law.
decisions
is my
made when I
point.
was on council, I mean, it was done under what we understood the law to be.
I understand that, but I think that there should be a.
I mean, there's nothing personal about this, though. I mean, this is nothing, I don't have
That's
anything
fine.
against you guys or anything.
Honestly, like when we looked at it, if we put the sewer fee back to $345, which we would have had to do,
I mean, I saw
and
that.
then implement a trash fee, because, oh, by the way, after the budget was voted on, the last week of December, we received a letter that solid waste
I
actually. just went
appreciate
up.
your argument.
I'm just,
the-
right, but I'm trying to
what-
explain it to the residents as well, that we do this because we thought the borough needed more money, like we're doing it to cover all of the expenses that the borough incorporates, like trash and things like that, and we looked at, okay, do we keep the taxes the same and just go back to the $345 for the thing and then add a trash fee? When we did that, it was like an additional $53 a month for every resident.
Respectively, when I was on council, it was a $4 million budget. Now it's a $5 million budget. And I can't say that that's like a,
Part of that is,
I mean, inflation, I don't think I can really call that.
4.6. It's 4.6.
Can you grab me that
A big
candle?
chunk of that is the full EMS. We had to put that EMS budget in there. We actually
You didn't
had
budget $316,000
for
for
EMS.
full-time EMS.
It was a budget of like $70,000, and then we did budget for the rack fee for the municipal building, because I'm sure you're aware, or you may be aware, we just had issues last week with them. I mean, it's been nickel and dime us to death to just try and hold the structure up and just functionalize it. Like the police can't operate remotely, like that's not fair to them, when they're trying to write reports and things like that.
Well, I appreciate your stance on this, and like, I know that, we can make a more concerted effort to have a weekly conversation.
Perfect. I mean, if you're hearing things out there, I mean, please let council know. It doesn't have to be me, it could be me, it could be anybody else on council, whoever you're comfortable, but I would just like to have a different conversation, that if you're receiving concerns and problems from the residents, that if it's brought to council, this is, they're talking to you and they're not telling anybody else. We have no idea. Right? I mean,
Yeah, I'll share that information.
thank you. So upcoming public meetings and events, we have our regular council meeting next Monday, January 9th. Prior to that, we have our council executive session at 6 p.m. and then council regular meeting at 7 p.m. Don't any resolutions and citizens concerns? None that I'm aware of. Do we have any committee updates from council?
You know, upcoming new
Mentioned possibly moving, tonight's meeting back,
Oh, no, that's.
but that has nothing to do with that.
No, I think.
Yeah, Jessica wants to start the, thing on Wednesday night. She wants to get a date. Start. That's okay with it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's a good thing to try, but,
I guess we-
It's a good idea, honestly, it's something for the work. It's something to
We'll
do.
have to have it. We'll be scheduling things.
So just make sure that they can such a week notice. And if this isn't useful. Arts and crafts, you can have it here. And then those breakable late fixtures. Anyone else have any updates?
I know we did have a toy giveaway and we had a New Year's Eve bash for the kids that,
Yeah, that was really cute.
really enjoyed. It was a great idea. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe council is cute.
Right.
We were awarded the $100,000 grant money from the Pocket Park. That is a non-matching grant, so $100,000 to do the design and pull the permits to do the Pocket Park.
The one on 10th Street.
10th Street.
Yep.
Supposed to be a fishing pier and a ramp to put in canoes.
Me too.
Um,
Good. One of the other things that we actually just received is we have another commercial business in the borough that is now filing an appeal to have their land taxes lowered. So they are currently. Yeah, well, they just, so it's the Delco Logistics, it's
It's the Alliance.
the Alliance property. The new owners have filed an appeal, so that property has a LERTA, which means they are 100% tax exempt from the building this year. And then over the next 10 years, every year, they will have a tax increase of 10%. So it's about 17 million that they're taxed on at our tax rate every 10 years, and will increase by about 17 million. However, this year, they're not exempt from the land, which is at $3.35 million. And they just filed an appeal. They would like to see that cut in half to 1.74. So that is at the county courthouse currently, and we await their decision. And I did ask, yeah, right, and I did ask our solicitor, and I did ask the county if we can then deny their LERTA since they're already having a large tax rate, and I was told no. So there's that update. The RACP grant loan process is moving full ahead. The CDBG grant for Lighthouse Fall updates, they are not sure that they want to, this is from the years 2020 and 2021 grants. They're not sure that they want to extend the money. It was no one's fault that it was not done. The process is anytime we have a grant that we're awarded, there are certain procedures that have to follow. The borough has to put it out for bid. We have to have 3 bids, then we award it to the company that's within our budget. The 2 times that they were advertised, so we advertised it, only 1 person bid on it, so we can't move forward. We then have to go back to the county and ask them if we can rebid it. They have to give us the approval. We got the approval, we rebid it, and then we only got 1 bid again. So then we have to go back to the county and ask them to rebid it again, and we bring I did ask if we keep rebidding it, how many times do we have to rebid before we can just pick the one if it's within our budget? And we were told 3 times. So there's a possibility we may be able to move the Lighthouse Hall grant money that we were given to other projects in the borough. So that's kind of where we are on that one. Any new business item? We're going to move on to public forum. Karen?
Evening, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I'd first like to thank council for explaining Mr. Uzi. Hard to believe, Mr. Uzi, you've been serving as mayor for 11 months now. I was previously on council 2 years prior to becoming mayor. Obviously, we've learned nothing while serving those positions. Maybe if you didn't fall prey to the manipulative council president of 2020, 2021, you would have been more educated. I can't believe you work for a state rep and you have no understanding of the governing laws that prevail. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you.
I got some good ideas. On the Bill Zero is, right? With John Moynihan. Guy that does the taxes. Put in over there, with all that stuff. Didn't have enough room. Didn't put, places in the next room.
Sorry, Mikey, I had to take a second to figure out when you said Bill Cooper. I know what you're talking about now. I know what you're talking about now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You said.
Yep, I know what he's talking about when he started talking.
Bill. That's what. The game room with the chief in there, she had no food, but he had his own products. I was spending using that big camera, okay, to put that in the gym for speed. That's his screen, he was at, put it in the gym.
What problem is, like, we need the gym for all storage, and the police departments will be using storage, which nobody will have access to the gym except for the police department. Because we gotta have, it has to be secure.
Got enough food for everything. For everything on one wall.
Yeah, we can't secure it without being able to lock the doors. In other words, once those doors are locked, the only people that can get into that gym
Is the police department.
we're not even allowed to have police.
I mean, they're good ideas. I wish we could have some kind of a barrier wall. I don't know.
Unless you buy cabinets, you can lock everything up.
Yeah, I don't know how that
It's
would
the
work.
whole-
Accreditation, because accreditation department still has to come through the building. One of the things that they can't do is they can't have the drop ceilings, walls have to go all the way up. So whereas if you were to partition it off, there can't be, there have to be a solid roof. No, it can't be solid. That's the problem. Yeah, the doors will be locked on the inside. You won't be able to get out unless you. Everything will be locked on the inside. They're not even gonna use it. Those doors will be strictly an emergency if there's a fire
And you had to get out.
and you're right there and like that. But other than that, you won't be able to get in.
And the only,
February 1st, we're looking at trying to up and run in White House. Yeah.
Yep.
We're still trying to get everything.
we don't want to give a date too soon and then something
Right.
happens and our date gets pushed back. and then we
Our
have to
plan is
re-
February 1st. And then between February 1st and March 1st, we need to move the rest of Borough Hall to storage. In other words, put operating actually out. We'll see how things go. There's still a lot of stuff has to be done.
And why you storm down the, highway, storm there,
What's that?
the bed.
We got all that furniture up there. Remember, we got a whole borough hall has to be moved out.
In the entire building.
The whole entire building's got to be moved out.
Oh, filing cabinets, the
We're gonna have to
furniture.
store the trailer somewhere also. Somewhere.
Councilman Perry took care of that tonight too.
So.
Why you just give it to them as well, why, they don't want to put it down, snow.
And they feed
It may be, yeah, I mean, it depends, it's gonna depend on the time, like how everything gets moved. I mean, honestly, we're gonna try and do it February 1st to make sure that as we're crossing over, you're essentially up and running both at the same time while you're sunsetting the borough building into White House Hall for the time being. It's usually like a 30-day overlap of both, just to make sure that if something glitches or something goes wrong, we still have borough hall that we can operate out of if need be. Like if something goes wrong with the police department equipment, things like that, new, we still have it that we can use until we get this one fixed, so we're not like down and out.
That's why all the desks are down there already.
And the further we push our move time and our up and running time, is the further the project gets pushed back. And if there's any cost inflations or anything that happens like that, then we're subject to those fees as well.
You get, some shoe, what shoes?
I need boots,
Yeah, boots.
no problem. Come see me tomorrow, Michael, we'll take care of it.
She does keep you guys safe. Make sure you got your phone on the safety stuff.
That's what saved my foot.
I know. Mhm.
Down there.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mikey.
I'm just trying to get things organized.
You know, it makes
We
sense. It
appreciate
makes sense.
everything
We
you do.
appreciate it. We bring up things well in advance that some
You
people,
see things that
sometimes
we don't always see, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
why
we
I'm
appreciate it,
working.
Michael.
Justin Hartline.
Well, I guess what I really wanted to talk about was what the council planned to do with the mayor's veto, which I think has been covered ad nauseum at this point. I would just like to express my support for the mayor and everything he does. I do agree that I think the tax hike is rather steep. Other than that, I think that's pretty much covers everything I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone have any action items that need to be put on the for next week? Council, everyone has, I know this was emailed over, and I know Council and Mayor, we all have copies of the tentative EMS union agreement. That will be based on if the EMS side vote to yes, that they agree to this, then this will be on our budget or our meeting next Monday on the agenda to vote to accept the EMS union agreement.
You worked really hard on that as well.
We did. Anyone else have anything that we can go right now for next week's agenda? If there's anything, please let Dawn know by Thursday morning. Anyone have anything else? Motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn by Vice President Hall and seconded by Councilman Jones. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.